Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you are having a wonderful Friday morning on this last day of March. I can't believe it's the last day of March already. But hi, if you're new here, my name is Carly Bell, and I love to get together with y'all usually every other Friday for a machine embroidery tutorial that we call Sip and Stitch. And so I have my coffee, bring your beverage of choice, and we are going to do a really fun project today. So let me check the chat real quick. My mic is on. Okay. How's everybody doing today? Hi, Melanie and Jerry and Chantel and Deborah and Joe and Norma. I hope y'all are all having a great Friday. So this is we've mixed up the schedule, of course, because March was like so crazy for me. So we did Sip and Stitch last week, but we didn't do a project. I just told you all about my experience at the Everything Embroidery Market, which was a lot of fun. So if you missed last Friday, you can watch the replay of that video on my YouTube channel. It's also, I think, on my Facebook page if that's more convenient for you. But I'm back again this week because I'm trying to get back on schedule. And we are going to do a fun Easter project because one of the things that I got at the Everything Embroidery Market was a bunch of adorable seersucker and gingham blanks from a company called Bayou blanks. And I realized after saying it like over and over again last week, Bayou doesn't come to everyone's head like it does me because I am from Southern Louisiana. I grew up in a small bayou community on Bayou Barataria. So a bayou is a small river. It's larger than a stream, smaller than a river. We have lots of bayous here in Southern Louisiana, and Bayou Blanks is a Louisiana-based business. Therefore, it is spelled B-A-Y-O-U. So that's one of the companies that was at the Everything Embroidery Market earlier this month that I went to. I had a shopping spree there, and one of the things I grabbed was these adorable Easter, I call them Easter baskets, but they're not baskets, they're buckets because they're fabric. So this is one of the things that I bought with intentions of doing a project for it. So that is what we're doing today. We are embroidering these really cute Easter buckets from Bayou Blanks. And lots of fun things. So this project is fun because I went searching. There are so many cute things that you can put on these buckets. I just did a search, a Google image search of embroidered Easter buckets or Easter baskets. And there are so many cute things that I saw where it's either just the name or a monogram or an applique bunny or all other cute, like all your favorite shops that have cute Easter designs or frames for a monogram or a name, you can put on these baskets. Like you really can't go wrong. Like anything's going to be cute. I was looking for something simple because of the machine that we're doing this project on today. So if you're not already a member of my Facebook group, come and join us. It's a free Facebook group. The link is in the description. Earlier this week, I put a poll in the Facebook group asking which machine would you like to see me stitch this project out on? Because I had a few ideas. And I have several machines that we can learn on, So one of them was my single needle but free arm machine, which is the Brother Persona, which has a cap driver. It can stitch hats on it. And I've seen people load buckets on the cap driver of these machines and stitch on them, rather easily. We also could have done it on an easy frame on any one of my free arm 6 needle, 10 needle machine. We have mighty hoops for those machines as well. But then I have my smaller flatbed machines like my Brother PE800 and my Brother NQ1700E. And so I put all those choices in the poll on the Facebook group, and the overwhelming vote was to do this project on the PE800, but not in just the regular 5x7 hoop that came with the machine, but in special 5x7 magnetic hoop for the Brother PE800, and it's made by Embroidery. So that is what we are going to do this project on. And you'll see when we go through hooping it and setting it all up, the range of motion is not huge. So to do an applique that like goes like right in the middle and like takes up the whole 5x7 hoop is kind of hard to do. So I wanted to do something simple that would be not a problem to do in the 5x7 magnetic hoop. And I was thinking just a simple banner. And I went searching and I'm like, I could make this. I digitized a smidge using Embroidery Stitch Artist. So I made what I had in my head of what I wanted. And I was like, well, since I made it, I might as well make it a free download for all of y'all to download. So under this video, you should see a link where you can go and download this free banner applique. It's a very simple design, and I made it in 3 sizes. The height is the same for all 3 sizes. It's 1.5 inches. So I was able to fit 1.25 inch font on it very nicely, or you could do a 1-inch font on it nicely. But the length I varied because kids' names can be short and can be long. So I have a 4-inch wide option that will fit in a 4x4 hoop if you're working on a smaller machine and that's your max embroidery field. So I have a 4-inch option. This is the 5-inch, what I embroidered on here. And then I also made a 6-inch one for our kids with longer names. So what I'm doing today is the 5-inch, but all 3 sizes come in the free download. When you click the link, it's going to send you to a page and ask for your name and your email, because the file will actually be emailed to you. And in the email, it'll be a zip file. And so with the zip file, you'll need to unzip it. And then I've already gotten a few emails. If you don't have embroidery software, you will not be able to open the file on your computer and see it. But you will be able to save it to your USB stick and plug it in your machine, okay? So that's all you need to do if you're a newbie, and this is a really great starter applique for you to try out, is unzip the file, find the size you want, find the format for your machine. So I'm using the 5-inch wide. I have a Brother machine, so I'm using the .pes format. And I'm just copying that one file and pasting it on my USB stick and plugging that in my machine. And then you can go and add lettering using the fonts on your machine, or if you have embroidery software, open it in there and add the lettering in whatever font that you choose. All right, so free download. Other good news is that I reached out to Bayou Blanks, but y'all know I'm so last minute. I think I didn't email them till Monday or Tuesday. They got back to me last night and gave us a coupon code. And I should have made a picture. Let me upload. I did make a little picture earlier today. Is this it? Yeah. Let me upload this picture with the coupon code. It's a bit of a long coupon code, but it is Carly B, SIP, in the letter N, Stitch. So that is the coupon code Bayou Blanks gave me, and that is to save 30% off Easter buckets. So I think if you get your order in now, I'm not sure how fast their shipping is, but you can use these buckets for like all kinds of things, for summer, for gift baskets, for birthday parties, or you save them and have them ready for next year. So, but you might want to go ahead and grab some while you have a coupon code, okay? And I'm sure you can email them, or they have a Facebook group you can join and ask, you know, what is the shipping time? Will I get it before Easter next weekend? So Carly B, SIP in Stitch is the coupon code to save 30% off the Easter buckets. And I have a link to the Easter buckets in the description. And y'all that have been with me a while know I also have a SIP and Stitch homepage. And this page, I I have big intentions of cleaning this page up because it is a big of a mess, but every week I update it. And so at the top is the latest project. So today's March 31st, and you'll see that at the top of the homepage, the Sip and Stitch homepage, saying what the project is and links to everything, including the baskets, the coupon codes listed there, all the supplies I'm using. But I think I put a lot of things in the description box of the video as well. So if there's ever something missing, feel free to reach out to me through either email or Facebook, and I will make sure whatever information you're looking for, I can get to you. All right, let's see, let me play with this. I made this little thing. Yes, I like that. All right, so let me check the chat real quick. Yay, so everybody's saying thank you. You are very welcome, Marissa, and everyone else. Yay, Cece, I'm so glad you are here. It's been a long time since you've been catch me. Sorry, my camera likes to blink. All right, somebody, let's see. Yay, Jeanette got the applique, wonderful. Awesome. All right, and Norma brings up a good point. Thank you. She's going to put it on a tote bag. The great thing about this little nameplate banner applique that I have for y'all, there are so many applications that this could be used for. Yes, we're using it on an Easter bucket today, but you can throw this on a tote bag. You could throw it on a zipper bag. You could put it on a school bag. I mean, it even would look cute on a shirt, where like I've seen where they have like a cute design and then the name under the design, but go ahead and have the name on the applique banner. Like that is a cute thing too. So you can, if you have embroidery software, you can merge it with other designs, pick whatever font you want to put into it. You can use it on towels, like beach towels, to label a section, especially when you have a beach towel that has like a really busy pattern. And the name is, if you just stitch the name on the towel, you're not going to see it. So you can put a nice solid piece of fabric in that banner and then put the kid's name and it will stand out. Blankets, kids, nap mats and sleeping bags, all those kinds of things. So there are a million applications for this little banner. So even if you don't plan on doing the Easter bucket, go ahead and go get the download, because I promise you, you'll find something else that you can use with this design. So thank you, Norma, for reminding me of that. All right, so yay. Okay, so I think that was everything I wanted to tell you before we go ahead and jump in. Oh, there was a couple of things I wanted to show you real quick, but I'll wait till maybe we're stitching and then I'll show you some other fun projects that I've been doing this week. But let's switch over to the craft table. All right, let's talk about supplies. So we talked about the buckets, right? I got the buckets from Bayou Blanks. Here's the logo. So you see BAYOU blanks. And they don't only have Easter buckets, guys. Y'all are going to go down a rabbit hole of all the beautiful blanks that they have on their website, including lots of different bags, lots of different seersucker bags, and children's clothing and beautiful like boutique children's clothing items. So check all of that out. I think the coupon code is only good for the Easter baskets, but put other things in your basket, see if it works. If it works, load up on all kinds of stuff. So of course we need the basket. Now, because this is an applique, you're going to need a piece of fabric to fill in your applique with whatever you want. So I have this cute kind of tealy turquoise polka dot fabric, and as with all of my appliques, I have a piece of Heat and Bond Light that I'm going to iron to the back of this. Okay, so I have that here. Let's talk about the hoop. So this is a magnetic hoop I got from Amazon. It's made by a company called Embroidery. I think there's a bunch of companies on Amazon that make this one, make magnetic hoops now. I've bought other things from the company Embroidery before, so I wanted to go with them for this. I got this for Christmas a couple years ago, and told my kids this is what they bought me. I ordered it, I wrapped it, I gave it to them. I'm like, this is what you're giving me for Christmas. And the hoop is a metal frame. And because it's made for the PE800, it fits the brackets on the PE800 perfectly. They also make one for 4x4 machines, like Brother and Baby Lock 4x4 machines. And I think they also make one that fit the Innovis NQ Brother model machines, or like the Baby Lock, what was it called? The Flourish 2, the Verve, the Flare, all of those that are Baby Lock machines with a 6x10 hoop. They'll work on either one, the Baby Lock machine or Brother machine, and they'll have the slide-on hoop bracket, but the metal frame is the same. It comes with a grid that you can use to help center things. It doesn't fit like as nicely as your traditional hoops, because those traditional hoops have little notches that make your hoop, once your grid is in the hoop, it doesn't move around, it stays in place. This one's a little harder because there's nothing really to keep it in place. So when I first got mine, I tried to get it like right where I thought the grid should go. And then I used a Sharpie and I marked my where the ends of the crosshairs were. So now every time I put my grid on, I have those marks to line up the red grid marks onto if I'm using this to make sure that my placement is just right. Then, of course, it comes with the magnets, and they're very, very strong magnets. And like I'm pulling them apart. And what they do is they magnetize right to the hoop. So it's going to hold your item in place. So this is great for hard to hoop items like these Easter bags. Okay. That is where your magnetic hoop is going to come in handy. Also, if you're ever doing like multi-hooping projects like edge-to-edge quilting, this makes it super easy to like load up your quilt, you know, magnet it in place, and then when it's time to undo it and move your quilt over, and then just put it back down again with the magnets. So lots of good applications for the magnetic hoop. So there should be a link for this both on the Sip and Stitch homepage, and in the box under or above the video should be a link for that. I am using tearaway stabilizer for today's project. You can also, if you need like really secure, you can also put some sticky tearaway on the back of this, just like you would with any of like the Easy Frames projects where you need a sticky stabilizer. You can put that underneath here, so you have a sticky stabilizer, and then from on top you have the magnets holding your item down. I didn't find that was necessary for these buckets, so I just have a piece of tearaway. Then for placement, I highly recommend that you print out your design, because just looking at it like this and then like using your grid, let me get it. Oops. Okay. Using your grid to like figure out right where you want it and drawing placement marks might work. And it's nice because you can line up the top of the basket with that grid so you can make sure that it's not crooked. But I really like to have a visual of where I want my name and banner to go. So when you print out the design in Embroiance Essentials, or even if you are using the free Embroiance Express version, you can print it out. You can't open the banner design in Embroiance Express, but you can make just the lettering. And it prints out true to size and with the crosshairs. So I can see, like if I use this to line up the top, and I still need to measure left to right to make sure it is centered. I can put this and line up my crosshairs, and then now I kind of have a visual of where this is. But I'm not using the grid. I think I like it better just measuring and making sure it's in the center. And then I did do some measurements when I did Abigail's basket, and you want the top of the design to be at least 2 inches from the top of the basket, because these magnetic hoops are very, they have a wide edge, and you don't want your design to be too close to this edge and your needle accidentally hit the metal of this on accident. Because this is not a official Brother hoop, I treat this like I treat all my other frames that are not made for my machine, and I trace. And so then I make sure that my design is going to fall within the space and not go anywhere. My needle won't go anywhere near the outside edges of the hoop and accidentally hit it. Okay. So first, let's, I'm going to kind of hold it to where I got a seam on this edge and a seam on this edge. And I'm going to use my ruler. And they're about 15 inches. So about 7.5 would be my mark. And that runs beautifully on the edge of this purple line going down. So I can either take my fabric marker and put a little mark here and here. And I know that's my center. Okay. And I can make sure that the center of my design lines up with that. Now, however far down I want it, that is personal preference. But like I said, you want it at least 2 inches down. That's what I did for Abigail's. Let's double check it. So yeah, 2 inches from the top of the banner to the top of the bucket. So I'm going to make Elise's the same because I want them to match. So something like that. And then I just make sure everything looks straight. The gingham is great because it kind of works like a grid. However, not every bag is made the same and probably perfectly. This one is beautiful. It's nearly perfect with the how it's sewn, and that the lines are really going parallel to the top. This bag was slightly off. You can like watch this white line. You see how it's got purple showing, but then over here the white just keeps going up. So it's not perfectly across. So my applique is not right in the center of this purple line here. You see it kind of going at an angle. It's not bad though, because you really can't tell unless you look close. But don't strictly go off the lines on there. You know, make sure that it's really straight with the top of the bag is what I would suggest. Once you get your printout of your banner with your name in it, where you think you want it, I am using pins to pin it in place. Oops. Ow. Never fails. I always poke myself every time I touch a pin. All right. I pinned it a little crooked. Let me try that again. Okay. So pin your nameplate right where you want it to be. This is going to help you a lot when you get to your machine and you load the design, so that it's really going to stitch out where you want. Because hooping this is just kind of there, because it's a bag and we got some things to line up. It's not hooped the same way like I usually hoop everything. So once you have this and you figured out where you want your name, the next step is you actually have to turn the bag inside out. And that's what's great about these soft fabric bags, is that it is easy to do. So like everything that is a bag that I want to embroider on a flatbed machine, I always want to touch it and play with it and make sure I can turn it inside out. the ladies at the booth were probably laughing at me because like I would grab things off the shelf and I'd try to turn it inside out to make sure that it's something I could do on a flatbed, and because most of the time that's what y'all want me to show y'all on these tutorials. So this is now turned inside out. Another thing is that I decided to go ahead and put my name on the opposite side so that I don't sew through the logo. That's silly, it doesn't matter, but that's something I just did. So I have my bag turned inside out. Now I'm going to take my tearaway stabilizer and just lay it on top. Great thing about the pre-cut stabilizer, it's not curling up, it lies completely flat, and I can do this. It's made already for a 5x7 hoop, so it's right what I need. Then I'm going to take the bag and I am going to try and line up this edge of my bag right with this edge of the hoop so that I know I have it on hooped straight, okay? And this might be hard for y'all to see, so I'm just going to do it and then I'll show you it after. But I am making sure my stabilizer stays. Remember, you can also use sticky stabilizer if you need extra support of things staying where they should. But I'm just lining up this edge of my bag to the edge of my hoop. And then once I get something where I think looks good, I'm going to take a magnet and I'm going to just pop it right there. So you see I got one magnet there. And now I'm going to do this side, line that up good. These magnets really like to stick to each other. And pop that there. Now, because of the range of motion is not a lot when we do a bag, you don't need to put these magnets all the way on the end of the metal hoop unless your design is stitching all the way over here, right? Since my design is smaller and it's only stitching in the middle, I really only need to keep my magnets right outside of my design. Like, they don't have to be on the absolute outer edges of the hoop. Because what's going to happen is when you do that, that's just going to give you more tension kind of with the bag trying to stay open. And it's not going to allow you to pull it down. So if my magnets were way out here, I'd only be able to pull it down so far. With my magnets closer in, I got all this extra material that I can pull down because that's where my magnets are. Okay, the other places I put magnets, once I have these two here, then I kind of smooth out the bag as much as I can. And I want to put one magnet right in the center where it's close to the bracket, right in the center of this side of the hoop. So I'm going to push this, get a magnet ready. Okay. Push this and try to pull it towards a little taut. And then I'm going to put a magnet there. And like I said, it's hard to show y'all this. Okay, so you see I have one here. There is a little bit of a lip on this side of the magnetic hoop where the magnets will stick there. And now I'm just going to go and put some on the top and the bottom of the hoop, if we consider these the sides, the top and the bottom. But like I said, I don't need to put it all the way in the bottom corner because my design only goes this low. So I'm just going to go a little bit lower than my design, like right here. Okay, I don't need to go all the way in there. Right here is good. And then same thing on this side. And another thing with magnets, everything on your table is going to get sucked to them. Also, don't keep them around your phone. Okay, so I'm going over here and boom. All right, and I got one magnet left. I'll just go ahead and put right here. Okay. I think that's all of them. Yeah, I should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now if you look in my bag, let me open it. Y'all can see I have 3 magnets here, 1 on the side, 1 in the middle at the bottom, and then 1 over here on the side. Okay, So that is it for hooping. Then you can either because this bag, you really can smush it, you can kind of fold all this. And I don't think a Wonder clip is going to hold it, but I'll try. I think I have some bigger clips. You can kind of clip this and hold it back. Let's see. I have these pink clips that I got from the Dollar Tree that are great. Here we go. I have these clips I got from the Dollar Tree, and I don't know if it was in the craft section or what. I can use this to kind of hold this back. Just so that it's not hitting, because you'll see when we get to the machine, this is all kind of in the way. All right. Oh, and Kathy brings up a great point too. Let me put this out. Keep the magnets away from your USB sticks too, because they tend to erase things. Phone, computer, USB sticks, they are not your typical kitchen refrigerator magnets. They are strong. All right, so let me check the chat and see if y'all had any questions. So any questions on what we have done so far? All right, Cindy's saying she has one of these hoops for her smaller 4x4 machine, and she loves it. Yes, they are really great for those hard to hoop projects. All right, Chantel makes a good point. She uses the magnets to hold the grid in place, because you'll notice the grid has little cutouts here, so you could put the magnet here and here, and that helps hold it in place. Yes, very true. Yay, Norma says she has this hoop, but she hasn't used it. Now you have a reason to try it. Yes. Does the hoop come with all 6 magnets? Yes, it does. And then I think you can buy additional magnets as well if you look on Amazon. Now, other magnetic hoops, the reason why I like this one is the versatility, because you have the individual magnets. So I can do things like not put my magnets all the way on the edge because I am choosing where I want them. Other magnetic hoops like the Dime Snap Monsters, they are 2 pieces. They're just like Mighty Hoops. If you're familiar with Mighty Hoops, they have the bottom one and then the top one, and they snap together and is the shape of the hoop. So that makes it to me a little bit harder with projects like this, because then it's really going to be all pressed around the whole outer edge of the hoop. With these little individual magnets, I like that you can pick and choose where you put them. But the Dime Snap Monster hoops are really great for quilting projects. I know a lot of people that love to use those for their edge-to-edge quilting. All right, so let's jump over to the machine now and see how we put this sucker on here. All right, so I have, let me make sure y'all see everything. I have my hooped bag. You want to, the great thing, I know the nicer machines have the slide-on hoops, and the slide-on hoops are great, but when you have really odd things like bags, it's nice to be able to not have to always start the hoop right here and slide it on and have to smush all of this. We can come in from the side. So I can go down and under my presser foot like this. Is it going down and under? Yep, I can't see. All right. And then it's a magnet in the way. There we go. Okay, so we can go in like that direction. And now I have my brackets on the hoop and the brackets on the machine. And I am going to snap that into place. And it gave me a nice snap sound that I know it's good. And I like to lift the hoop a little and make sure it doesn't just pop off these brackets, because that is one downfall of the brackets, is that if you don't have it snapped on good, it will pop off. And in the middle of stitching, that's not good. That usually messes up things pretty good. So that is how we get the bag on there. Once you have it on there, now you can start smushing your bag and clipping it more if you want to really keep it out the way. And let me do some more clips so that y'all can see it stitching, because I know it's in the way of the camera right now. Try to keep that down so you can see. That didn't really help much, sorry. I'll move the camera closer when it starts stitching so y'all can see everything better. But I'm just going to pull everything up, and see, when I pull too much, it pulled my magnet. So I'm not going to pull too much here. Okay. That's where the sticky stabilizer might help you to have some better reinforcement. All right, I'm going to move the camera. Sorry if I get your car sick. So I want to make sure you see from this angle, you see a little bit better. All right, and let's talk about the screen for a second. So I have my USB stick plugged in. I press the USB button on the screen, so now I can scroll through my designs, and I'm going to go find my Elise name plate applique. Way too many things on my USB stick. Okay, I think this one's Abigail's. This one's Elise. I could see it. All right. And then I hit set. Okay, so we see Elise's banner that I made her. But the first thing I can see is that it has its stitching going this way. And look at my bag, how it is. We don't want it stitching going this way. We want it going this way. So the first thing I need to do is rotate it. So I'm going to hit rotate. And I want to rotate 90 degrees to the right. There we go. So now my screen matches what it looks like on my bag and how I want it to stitch out. So now I'm going to hit OK. So I'm going to hit end edit. Now it sends me to a screen with all of these crosshair buttons I can press. And this is when it's great having the design printed, because I need to move my needle. You could see right now it's like way over here. I need it to be right smack in the middle on the crosshairs that are printed on my design right there. Okay, so I'm going to move my needle by pressing these buttons. And just kind of try to get it where I think is it. Okay, and then if you really want it to be super right, what you can do is press the needle down button on your machine. And boom, I'm good. No, I'm a smidge off. But I could see my needle is like right in the middle of my crosshairs. So that's good enough for me. But it was almost spot on. It was almost. All right, and the thread's going to go down, so I usually just drag it out after that. I might be pulling up my bobbin thread when I do this because it's going through a lot. What did I do? There we go. Okay, I'm going to cut this now because it's way too long. Okay. All right, so I have my needle right where I want it to go. Since I'm using this magnetic hoop, the next thing I want to do is I really want to see where my machine is going to move to, so I can make sure nothing is going to get hit, nothing's in the way. And that is easy to do by pressing this dashed line square with the arrow right here in the middle. That is your trace button. So, and then be ready when you hit it, because it's gonna move the whole outline of the design. So this gives me another screen where I can either move my needle to the top of just the design or move my needle to the bottom. I'm gonna put it back in the center. This is the full trace, so it's gonna move everywhere. So I can see it's far away from my magnets, far away. When it goes to this corner, all that stuff over here is not in the way. It's right. It's nothing I think is gonna be an obstacle for the presser foot or the hoop or the machine or any of those things. So that looks good to me. So now I'm gonna hit OK. And embroider. So I'm ready to embroider. Now that I am ready to embroider, we can remove our printout because I know it's going to stitch right where I want to now. Okay. Any questions about getting the hoop on there, tracing, all that good stuff? Let me know. So I'm going to zoom in here since y'all don't need to see the screen anymore. We got through all of that. DX, a great question. Can you use a riser? I actually had my riser out on my table this past week because I was showing it to my From Start to Stitch beginner machine embroidery course that I'm teaching. And I was showing them the riser. This particular bucket will not work on the riser because, let me show you. So in order for the riser to work, the item must fit around the embroidery arm freely. And I think this bucket is too tight to be able to go under the machine with the riser and around this embroidery arm. I think it's just a bit too tight where it's not going to go around it and be able to just be floated flat onto the magnetic frame. So not this particular bucket. But if you have any that are bigger or tote bags that are bigger, yes, the riser helps make it very easy. And if you're not familiar with what a riser is, we have a very old YouTube video on my channel. If you just maybe search Carly Bell and then riser, R-I-S-E-R, it should pop up. And you'll see my friend Carol. She makes the risers and she made me a beautiful one and she has them for sale. And all that information is on that particular video. All right. Now, where did I miss other questions? All right, and then Mina has a question about my Embrilliance classes. So as of right now, I don't have my Embrilliance course ready. That is a goal of mine. I haven't set a deadline for it, but it's definitely before the end of the year. I'm hoping it'll be the summer, but we'll see how the kids do with being home for the summer. Me being home with the kids this summer. But I plan on having a full course on Embrilliance Essentials and Enthusiast. But as of now, I'm teaching small classes on Embrilliance in my VIP membership group. It's called the Sip and Stitch Squad VIP membership group. We have several tutorials on Stitch Artist digitizing in there, and I think I have a few Embrilliance Enthusiast classes, and we're actually going to do another one this coming month in April. So in there, you'll have a few, along with, let's see, over 2 years worth of other tutorials, Zoom classes. We do a private Zoom class every month for just VIP members, and we do a project, and I also give a free embroidery design every month. So all of that is in my VIP membership if you want to come and join us there until the Embrilliance course is ready. All right. Oh, Chantel says, how is Carol? I miss her. I know, I miss her so much too. She unfortunately had a bad day yesterday, so we all need to keep her in our prayers. Her puppy, that wasn't a puppy, but her furry family member passed away, and she had a rough day. So we need to all keep her in our prayers. But other than that, I think she's good. She just, unfortunately, I messed everything up when I switched to doing daytime lives because she is busy at work, and so she can't come and join us. So I'm in the middle of trying to negotiate with my husband to at least give me one Friday night a month so that maybe we can do a nighttime show once a month and then a daytime show once a month, but I haven't talked him into it yet. He was so happy when I switched to the daytime things because he said I messed up every Friday night for him. But I'm gonna talk him into it. So then maybe hopefully she can join us on Friday nights. I know, Joe, send me an email and I will refund you for that. You forgot to use a coupon code. So I have, for all my members that have been with me a long time, I have a coupon code for them to get a month for free, because we had to switch the place where we hold our membership. And just send me an email with either like your PayPal info or your Venmo info, and I will shoot you a refund for that month. All right. Yay. Okay. So I'm all right. So Zola said, thank you for demoing the centering and tracing. So she has the SE 1900, which is the equivalent of this PE800, but it's also a sewing embroidery combo machine. So all of the embroidery features on her machine is the same exact. And they recently came out with a PE900 and a SE2000. So I think everything will be the same for those as well. There might be some new features, I know, with wireless capabilities and cutting jump stitches, but I think all the functions will be the same for those machines too if you got a new model. All right, so let's get stitching. Okay, any more questions? I'm gonna go ahead and start. We have everything centered. I have my thread ready to go. Now, because this is an applique, we're gonna have our traditional applique steps of a placement stitch, a tack down stitch, and this particular applique, the finishing stitch, is a zigzag. So what I do to save thread changes is, if my applique is first, I'm going to load whatever color thread I want my zigzag to be in. And so I'm going to do all three of those steps in that same color. So I have like a turquoise colored thread loaded on my thread stand over here on side of my machine. And that is what I'm going to do the first three steps. So first is placement. So I'm going to lower the presser foot. I got my green light. I did my trace. I know everything's going to be good. And I'm going to hit start. And that is going to give me the outline of my applique and show me right where to put my fabric. So while that is going, I need to prepare my fabric because I want to put some heat and bond on the back. Now, heat and bond, it might not be necessary for this particular project to actually iron it to the bucket. That's I find more important when it's items you're washing and you don't want your applique fabric to pucker out. But because this basket is a pattern, I don't want that purple gingham to show through my fabric. And if I hold my fabric to the purple gingham, you see it a little bit. The heat and bond is going to help from seeing that. Another thing that helps with the pattern of the under fabric showing through a light colored applique fabric is something called Pellon SF101 or Shape Flex. I've been using that a lot in my Kimberbell quilts, which I'm going to show you because that's what we've been doing in the membership group. But you can kind of see the gingham through there. And this one I did heat and bond. I don't find that you can see it. So I'm going to get that ready. Did I already lose my heat and bond? No. All right. I have my applique fabric. I already have it cut. Because I did have a printout, I was able to see, okay, this is the size fabric I need. So I love that about my printouts, is that I can pre-cut all my applique fabric to right a smidge bigger than the size it needs to be. I got my little Cricut easy press that I forgot to turn on, so it is heating up. And I'm gonna just go ahead and get the wrinkles out of here. Yeah, it's hot. It's just not hot enough yet. And I'm gonna turn that upside down, and I cut a piece of heat and bond light. Important, that is the light version of heat and bond that has the purple label, because then the adhesive is not so strong that it will gum up your needle like the other versions of heat and bond, like the ultra is too strong. So make sure you have heat and bond light, and I'm just going to lightly press that, let it cool off a smidge, and then I should be able to peel the paper backing off, and now the back of my fabric is fusible or iron on. I can iron on to anything. It has a layer of adhesive. But also, not only does this layer of adhesive help when you need to iron it on things, but it's also wonderful in that when we are trimming our applique, it reduces the amount of fraying going on the edges, and it helps with blocking, I find, patterns going through the fabric as well. But the Shape Flex, the Pellon Shape Flex, definitely works best with blocking patterns. But I think this is good enough for today. So let's go back to the machine. Oh, so Zola says something. Oh, Lordy, cut jump stitch on the SE2000. Don't tease me like that. I know. I was very surprised and excited that the new 5x7 machines, because like for me, that was not only did I want, when I had my machine for 6 or 7 years before I upgraded, of course I wanted a bigger hoop size, but I was so excited about my bigger machines being able to cut jump stitches. So if my PE770 would have cut jump stitches, I probably could have stuck with it longer. But my kids were getting bigger, so that was a problem, that the 5x7 hoop wasn't filling up their shirts anymore. I had a little tail, so I'm back here cutting that thread tail. All right, so now I got my applique fabric. I got my placement stitch. I'm just gonna go and I'm back here so that I'm not blocking the camera. Normally I would do this in the front. I'm just sliding my applique fabric to be right on top of my placement stitch. Okay, that looks good. You usually don't have to secure it down any kind of way. I find it stays fine like that. If you are worried about your applique fabric moving, you can use something like paper tape, which I got from Kimberbell, or you can use Scotch tape if it's out on the sides. Or you can even very, very lightly spray a little bit of temporary spray adhesive on the back so that it kind of tacks it, a light stick so it doesn't move. But usually it's fine just like that. So presser foot is already lowered. I'm gonna hit go, and now we have our tack down stitch. Okay. So Joe says I need bolts of that interfacing. I actually I bought a bolt of Heat and Bond Light, and now I want to buy a bolt of the Pellon Shape Flex. And they had it at the Everything Embroidery Market. Pellon had a booth, and I bought some other stuff from them that Lisa Shaw had recommended that I get for patches, the stuff that she likes. Okay, so I'm gonna raise the presser foot and take this off. And they had bolts of Shape Flex, and I probably should have bought it because I haven't looked at prices yet, but they probably had a good price for the show that I'm not going to find cheaper online. So yeah, that's next on my shopping list. Okay, so we have our polka dot applique fabric, and it's tacked down, so now we have to trim it. So I'm using my favorite applique scissors, which you can find a list of all my supplies on the Sip and Stitch homepage. I also have a page on sewingmachinesplus.com with all of my favorite supplies. And I think I have a link for that in the description box below. It brings you to my Sewing Machines Plus page. And it shows you everything, all the stabilizers, my scissors, and like my fabric pin, my little blue stiletto that I use to keep things out the way. All of that's on there. And you can use coupon code Carly Bell to save 10% off your purchase of almost everything It doesn't work on machines, unfortunately. But all the little supplies and stabilizers and stuff, it works. Okay, and every time I put my scissors, this stupid magnet keeps stealing it away from me. So that's something aggravating about cutting applique with magnetic hoops. This happens with my Mighty Hoop too. So I am just cutting as close to that stitch line as I can. The zigzag applique is a little more forgiving than a satin stitch applique if you can't get it cut super close. Because like this is a little awkward position trying to get my scissors over here because I got all this bag in the way and the magnets keep grabbing my scissors. Okay, so that's it. Super easy. Now, if something went wrong with your applique and you got like a big bubble in it, you can use your little iron to adhere it down. The basket itself is kind of like, it's got like a natural wrinkle to it, but when I did Abigail's, the wrinkle didn't transfer to the applique. So if you want to iron that down, you can. And now we're going to put it back on the machine and it's going to do the zigzag outline. And I already got my color thread loaded that I wanted to do my zigzag outline in. So I don't have to change any thread colors. I'm ready to go. So I slide it in and then make sure my hoop is snapped in good. All right, double check that, you know, everything's still out the way. Those clips are helping a lot with like keeping my basket in the same position and shape as it was when I traced. So I know that everything's kind of out the way. And I'm gonna lower my presser foot and stitch. Sorry, this one piece is like in your way, but I'll try to smush that down. All right, so a zigzag stitch is pretty much a very loose satin stitch. All right, let me check the chat. Okay. So Zola said, can you embroider on glitter craft foam? I think you could. I'm not sure if you'd want to though, because the amount of debris that is going to create from all of the places where the needle enters it is going to possibly cause a lot of debris to get in your machine and be hard to clean out without having it like actually serviced. I've done some glitter canvas back sheets and it made a hot mess. Hot mess. And I had brought it to get serviced not long after and he's like, what did you stitch with your machine? So I'm not sure if you'd want to, especially if it's a kind of foam where the glitter comes off of it easily. Yes, Joanna says I can get some Shape Flex at Joann's and use a coupon. Very good point. I'm gonna research my options. I'm gonna do some shopping lists to see where I can get the best deal. All right, I'm done with the zigzag. One thing I love about zigzag is it stitches out so quickly. Satin stitches usually take a really long time. Now, the font I chose is a satin stitch. All right, so I'm changing threads now. I'm gonna do my name in pink. So I'm gonna cut my thread right here at the entrance to my thread path. And I need to raise my presser foot. And I'm gonna pull it out the bottom here. And now I'm going to take my turquoise fabric thread off my stand and put my pink and go. Sorry if I'm all up in the way. All right, one thing with threading machines when you have this stuff on it is like all this stuff might be, oops, in the way of the mechanism that threads the machine. Okay, so I'm gonna do, oh wait, thread, presser foot needs to be down to thread. That didn't work. Do I have it behind that? Yeah, okay. It's not a stain. Okay. There we go. So I'm just pulling it through. It's kind of looped a little bit. All right. I have my pink thread on. My presser foot lowered. Now it's going to stitch the name. Now the name is Satin Stitch. So let's hit go. All right. And even though Elise's name is shorter, I still went with the 5-inch applique design because I like the fabric a lot. I wanted it to show through on the sides. Okay. Ooh, Joe says Joanne sometimes does 50% off, and I think those qualify for the extra 10. So if you buy a whole bolt, I think the only bolt I bought so far was the Heat and Bond Heavy for patches. But if you mention it gumming, I'm scared to try. So Heat and Bond Ultra you can use for the back of patches when you are done stitching the patch and you are just using it to adhere to an item or a hat or a jacket or whatever it might be. That is what Heat and Bond Ultra is good for, adhering patches. Don't have it on the back of your stabilizer or patch while you're stitching it. That's what I use it for. Yes, and she has another point too. The SF101 is really popular for bag making when you're using like a woven cotton fabric to make bags as an interfacing. Yes, that's another reason why I need a bolt, because I want to make bags and I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I need some more. All right, Cindy saying she's gotten bolts at Joann's with the coupon code. All right. Does the Pellon stop fraying if I do a zigzag applique on a conventional sewing machine as well? Yes. Yes, the Pellon is going to stop fraying as well. I'm trying to think of, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it won't adhere the applique to your item you're sewing it on, but it will stop the fraying. All right. Oh man, Brenda said, I just missed it. Last week she got it for 50% off. All right, I'm going to check after this video if the sale's still there. All right, Claudia is asking, what color is my bobbin? So with all of my embroidery, I am using a white 90 weight bobbin thread. And that is with every embroidery project that I do. There are black 90 weight options as well, but and that is like if you're sewing on a dark blanket and you don't want that white bobbin thread to pop on the back of your embroidery, you can use a black. But for all my traditional embroidery where the back is really not going to be seen, I'm using white. But it's 90 weight, because remember, you should never see your bobbin thread on top of your embroidery because of the way the stitches are. You're going to see your top thread on the back a little bit. And I'll show you when we're done, because I actually just went over all of this in my beginner machine embroidery class. We went over tension and bobbin thread and how it should look. Okay, so we are done. I'm checking all the chat while that was stitching. Ooh, Brenda says, yes, she's starting to do the Designs by Juju Christmas skirt. I want to do that too. And yet you need a lot. Okay, Joe says Pellon is 40% off this week. Okay, that's good. Oh, no problem, so. Okay, it's all done. So now we can take it off the machine. So raise the presser foot and get around those magnets and pull that out. And now we can go to the craft table and clean it up. All right, Claudia, when she puts white thread in her bobbin shows on top. question, number one thing, and I just taught this in my class. I would say the number one culprit of you seeing bobbin thread, like my Diddy Lease in pink, and if you saw mostly white for her name, that means you have your bobbin loaded incorrectly. And for a flatbed machine, your bobbin should be traveling counterclockwise. And pull it through the thread path. Let's go back to the machine and let me show you this. All right, we zoomed in here on the bobbin. So I'm gonna pull my bobbin out. Oops. Come out. Okay. All right, I want my bobbin with the thread hanging on the left, and when I pull it, the wheel, it's turning counterclockwise. Okay. Drop it in. Let me come on this side. Drop it in. Okay, I'm holding that thread that was coming off the left-hand side. I go around this little hook for the thread path, pull a good 12 inches, go around. I could see it's traveling counterclockwise, and then cut it. Not only does it need to be in the right direction, but pulling it really helps set the tension after you've installed it so that it is really what it's supposed to be. That should solve your problems. If it doesn't, there's a couple other troubleshooting things that you can try. Just post in our Facebook group if you have any trouble after that, okay? All right, so Kitty also brings up a good point that I forgot to mention. Depends on your machine. If you have an embroidery only machine, they recommend 90 weight bobbin thread. If you have a sewing embroidery combo machine like your Baby Lock Altair, they recommend 60 weight bobbin thread. Either one is fine. I still use 90 weight. I have an Altair. I have 90 weight in it when I embroider, and then when I sew, I put in a traditional bobbin that matches my top thread. But yes, 60 weight is usually recommended for sewing embroidery combo machines. 90 weight is for embroidery only. Ooh, Norma. Can you send me your teacher discount? I'm teaching. I should get a discount, right? Okay. What is the strip on the back of the hoop? Let's see. So Kim's asking this. The back of the hoop. Are you talking about this piece? If this is what you're talking about, I think this is just to help the hoop glide nicely on top of the flatbed, so that it doesn't scratch or catch or anything. It's for gliding, if that's what you're asking. All right. Hi, Anne. So the machine I'm using is the Brother PE800. Let me back up. That's the Brother PE800. And then the hoop I'm using is the Embroidery magnetic hoop, and it came with all these magnets. So you can go back and watch the replay and you can see how I used the hoop. But it is a magnetic hoop made for the Brother PE800. Yes, Brenda, if y'all are shopping for Designs by Juju has 50% off. It's their 19th anniversary, which is amazing. Okay, so Kim's saying that was the strip she was talking about. Hers doesn't have it. What can I put on there to help make it glide? This is just a really smooth piece of plastic. I would think, it's probably something you can put is a piece of felt. And just like either a strip of felt or just some like little cutouts of felt, and use some double-sided tape or something like that and put that on there, and that will help it run smoothly, I think, on it. You can try that. Okay. All right. So we're done stitching. Now, my machine doesn't cut jump stitches. So you will see little jump stitches from the E to the L to the I. And you could see it, the S and E, but barely. So I am going to go and cut those jump stitches. And I'm going to use my tweezers and my same applique scissors usually help me grab those pretty easily. A little trash can. All right. So just snipping those. There is a tiny one between the I. I could leave that one. And there's a tiny one between the S and the E that I don't think is noticeable. If you like to cut every single jump stitch, by all means, go ahead. I usually just cut the ones that are super noticeable. Now we can remove all these clips and magnets. And to keep my magnets together, I'm just going to let them all stick to each other and not get my fingers in the way when I do it, because they will pinch you. Okay, so that's all 6 magnets. And now you see that came off the frame. And I have the back side of the embroidery that I can just tear the stabilizer. All right, and who was it we were talking about bobbin thread with? Claudia. Look at the back of Elise. It's not showing so much bobbin thread, but what you should see is a third pink, a third white, and then a third pink again. Like look at the L and look at the I. That is what you should be seeing for your bobbin thread on the back. Okay? That is what you want it to look like. So now I can turn my bucket right side out. And I am not one that is super particular about stabilizer. Like for me, I just did the outside of the name. I'm not worried about picking the stabilizer out on the inside of the banner because the bucket is white, the stabilizer is white. It's not standing out. So also, I am not one to trim things too much. And I tell my students this in my class, that don't get scissor happy on the back of your embroidery, because especially if you cut way too close, your embroidery is going to come unraveled. So to me, this is not a big deal. If it really bothers you and you want to cut it, make sure you leave like 1/4 to 1/2 inch of a tail, so that you don't have a chance of it unraveling. Okay. And that's it, guys. We are done with Elise's bucket. So let me move this out the way. All right, so did y'all enjoy the project? Isn't that cute? So now both my girls have an Easter bucket, and I'd had to explain this for Christmas. Mama makes the bags and puts them out, and Santa and the Easter Bunny fill them. Because they were not understanding have Santa sacks for Christmas. And they were like, he brings the same sacks every year. And I'm like, no, Mom made the sacks. I leave them out at night. He fills them up. That's going to be the baskets. We're going to put the baskets out the night before Easter. And so the Easter Bunny can fill them up. So now they know they have some super cute embroidered and monogrammed Easter baskets. And so y'all, if you joined late, you can go and get this applique frame zigzag banner for free. I have a link that you can download it in the video description, where you can go grab that for free. The font that I used today, I forgot to tell y'all, is called Farmhouse Lemonade. It's one of my favorites. I have 2 favorite fonts I think I really go to for every single project that I do. They're both from Creative Appliques. One is Farmhouse Lemonade. The other is Twinkle Star. I just love those fonts. I love how my girls' names look in those fonts, especially with Abigail having a G in the middle of her name. All the other fonts that I go and I put in this, especially with this banner, the G is going down low. So it's going like below. I can't put as big of a font as I want in here because the G is going below. So I end up having to put a very tiny font so that the G stays within the frame. With my Farmhouse Lemonade font, I don't have that problem because the G is the same. It's like shifted up, and I really like the way that looks for her name. So you'll do the same thing. Like if you have kids or you have grandkids and you're always stitching stuff out with their names, you're going to find a font that you love their name in. And so for me, that's what Farmhouse Lemonade is and Twinkle Star. I think I put a link to Farmhouse Lemonade below. If not, it's definitely on the Sip and Stitch homepage. But definitely one of my favorites. All right, so let me check the chat. Yay, thank you, Sharon, for watching. I appreciate it. So Kathy said, should you glue the ends of stitches after embroidery to prevent unraveling? The only time I do that is when I cut something that I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have cut that. Then I'll go put some fray away or some fabric glue to just ensure. And that's happened to me before where I had like a random loop or random just like thread coming out of the satin column. And I'm like, oh, that looks bad. I need to trim that. And so I'll trim it, but then I'll go put fray away or fabric glue on top to make sure it doesn't unravel the whole satin column. I know I've done that before, but I recently bought something that another YouTuber, the Embroidery Nurse, recommended. That is my new favorite thing. And it's her favorite thing. So, and I understand why. Now the question is, where did I put it? Is it in here? No. It's called a snag nabbit. And it pretty much looks like a thick needle. And it has a needle point. But on the end of it is like a textured rough metal, where usually the eye where you put the thread. And what you do is you, like say there was a loop or something in the E of Elise's name, I would take that needle and put it in right where that one of the ends of that loop is happening. And when I pull it through, that rough edge of the other end of the needle pulls the thread and it'll pull it through on the back of the embroidery. So now the front looks fine and you have a loop on the back, which I don't care about. I would leave that alone. But I bought it and I put it somewhere and I don't remember. Where did I? Oh, here it is. I left it in its little plastic thing. Let me see if I could show you this. So it's just a regular needle, but you can see the end of it is like it's textured and rough. So I would stick, say there was a loop in the E right here, I would put my needle like right where the end of the loop was happening and just push that through. And now this rough part is going to go through and pull that loop in. And I would just pull the needle all the way through to the other side and it would pull it through, which I had to do the other day and it worked beautifully, beautifully. So I'm going to keep it in here and then I'll keep it in there. There we go. Y'all remember I put it there next time I'm looking for it. Oh, wait, not the machine. Here we go. All right. All right, so Rebecca, so for all of my Sip and Stitch videos, I record them live, but then the replay is available like immediately after the class is over on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook group. So my YouTube channel is Carly Bell. That's how you spell my name. And if you go and subscribe and hit that bell notification button, you will get alerted every time I'm live, because I typically do live videos. I'm not great at recording videos and editing them. I keep saying I'm going to get better, but I'm not. So I'm not going to tell you anymore. Most of my videos are live. But you can always go back and watch the replay. And you'll know it's a live video if you see the live red blinking somewhere in the title. If it doesn't have that and it doesn't have the live chat going where you could type in it, that means it's a replay. I'm bad about saying the date when I start. I probably should do that. So, because I have a lot of people will go in the comments after and say, hi, but the video is not live anymore. But it shows up in the comments, which is great. And I'll go back and tell you hi back after the video is over. But yeah, they're all replays. Yay, I'm so glad you learned a lot, Kitty. Thank you for watching. Yay, Gina said now that she's watched, she's going to attempt her granddaughter's basket. Yay. And we did another great project last year before Easter that was a, what's it called? A bag tag. So if you wasn't able to get your hands on any of these buckets that you can embroider, and all you have is a traditional like woven basket, you can make a bag tag. And I think I have my girls' bag tags in this box. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And we made this last year for Easter, and so you can go back on the YouTube channel and pull up this video and make a bag tag. Where is it? I can't find it. If you have a traditional basket and you just want to make a cute little tag for it, I don't know where it is. I keep a bucket of things to show people. Here it is. Here's one. So I did a bad job of picking out the color for Abigail's name, so you can barely see it. And I did it in a bean stitch, which also makes you could barely see it. But for Elise's, I did a better job. I should probably go stitch another one for Abby. But I can put that on their regular baskets and have that hanging. So this is from Applique Alley. You can go and watch that video if you are looking for a project to do right now and you don't have one of those buckets. You can do that. Joanne said, who did I recommend for the riser? My friend Carol Broom. And if you search on my YouTube channel for the video with the riser, or just do a general YouTube search of Carly Bell embroidery riser, that video should come up. And then all of her information is in that video description. Okay. Yes, I totally agree with this, Kitty. Embroidering for many years, always learning something new, always. And I'm like that with embroidery, and I'm like that with Embrilliance. There is so many things, and I could, even though I've been working with Embrilliance for years, there are still things that I'm learning, and it's wonderful. I love it. Let's see. I think Joe is asking about the Snag Nabbit. I got it off of Amazon. I did see it on Sewing Machines Plus website. I don't think I've seen it in Joann's store, but I don't know if I looked really good. It might be in the craft store as well. You can look. It's made by Dritz, I think, is the manufacturer, the same people that make my marker and stuff. Dritz or Clover, or are they the same people? I don't know. Yeah, okay, so lots of people are like, I've been using that for years. Yay. I'm always late to the game with lots of things. All right, so Norma says, any info about the Applique Getaway? I will be at the Applique Getaway. That is an in-person embroidery convention type thing. It's a lot of fun. It is in Dallas, Texas. The dates are July. It's like the third weekend or the second weekend in July. Third weekend, the 14th, 15th, and 16th. I will be teaching, and I will have a booth with myself and Sewing Machines Plus. And registration should be opening soon. And when it does open, I will have a link for y'all to register. So stay tuned for that. The best way to get all of this information is to be on my email newsletter. I think I have a link for that down below in the description box. You can sign up for my weekly email newsletter. I just send one out. I tell you what's going on. I tell you what the next sip and stitch is going to be, links to what you need for that project. If I'm going to be on other people's shows, I'll put that. I always kind of do a design that I'm digging for the week, embroidery tips, sales, getaways, all those things. So if you subscribe to my email newsletter, you'll get all that information. All right. Yay. Okay, so I see a lot of people saying that they learned. Okay, so Cecilia said Applique Getaways in November. So the virtual Applique Getaway is in November. And that is one that is all online and on your computer or your phone, and anyone can attend. And it's great. And they have usually a bunch of great classes. The one in July is the in-person one in Dallas, Texas. Lots of great classes, lots of great vendors and shopping, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm like way behind on, oh, there we go. I finally, nope, I still haven't caught up to the comments. There we go. Let's see. Kathy was saying, oh, and yeah, okay, we'll get back to Joe. Kathy was saying she's looking for a floppy ear bunny applique sweatshirt. I did a video on years ago. Which one was that? Floppy eared bunny. I made a floppy eared bunny stuffed animal, but I don't think I did a video on that. I just posted pictures. But a sweatshirt, I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look, Kathy. If I find it, I will. I'll post it in my Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, I'll find it and post a link for you. All right, yay. Okay, and so Joe says she can't wait for Hoop Fest. So Hoop Fest is another thing. This is all virtual, so you can watch from the comfort of your home, and that is totally free. And it is a week-long virtual embroidery event by sewingmachinesplus.com, which is a company that I'm a partner with. And I will be teaching some classes for Hoop Fest, and I will be having a little segment during the show to tell you all about my classes that I'm teaching. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That is June 12th through 16th. So it's kind of second-ish week of June. So y'all can check that out, and I'll have all that information in my email newsletter. All right. Yay, Hoop Fest. Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun. I think the baskets came out super cute. Super cute. I think that was the only other things I wanted to tell you. So our next Sip and Stitch will be in 2 weeks. I'm going to make a plan on Monday on what it will be. As soon as I have it planned, I will post. I will have email, newsletter information about it, but we will do something fun. So the date for the next one. So that will be the 14th of April will be our next Sip and Stitch. I don't think I have a dance competition that weekend. Nope. So I have no excuses. We'll be back on April 14th. And just stay tuned to my email newsletter and Facebook for information on what that project will be. Then my membership group, we just had our March class. Let me show you that real quick because it came out super cute. We are working on the Kimberbell Spring Showers quilt. And so this is what the quilt is going to look like when it's done. And we worked on these rain boot blocks. And it's fun because we used some vinyl to make our fabric look like patent leather, like the rain boot. And it has this 3D buckle on the rain boot and 3D straps on the top. So this is a quilt block. And then we're making, each block is made in the embroidery hoop. And then when we're done making all our blocks, we're going to sew them all together. So this is what we've been working on in my VIP group. And then the free embroidery design for the VIP group is a cute little applique bunny that comes in multiple sizes. So if you are a member of my VIP group, go look for those things in the member portal. You can watch the class replay. You can download the free design. And if you're not a VIP member and you are interested in joining, you get access to all of my previous classes and the class replays and all the embroidery design. So I have a link for that down below. I'm going to start planning April on Monday, along with planning everything else. So I'll stay tuned for that. I know for April, we had some requests for embrilliance tutorials, and we'll continue with Kimberbell and also look into the future of sewing a purse pal, which is like a little in the hoop wallet. For your credit cards and ID and stuff like that. So that's going to be fun. Lots and lots of fun stuff. Yes. Cindy's like, absolutely love Kimberbell. Everything. Yes. And I have this box back here. I need a video. The April Perfectly Pieced is adorable. And the pattern this month for the 4-inch block is a basket, and I'm dying to make it. So I think I'm going to do this next week too. So make sure you're subscribed and have the bell, because I'm so last minute. I might just go live without giving you any warning and putting this project together when I have time next week. I'm just going to do it, and I'm not going to tell anybody ahead of time because I'm not going to know when I'm going to do it. So I just go live. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed so that you get notified when I do go live, because I'm bad about planning, guys. I really am. All right. Okay. Okay, somebody in the Facebook group, so I can't see your name, but it says they briefly looked on Bayou blanks for the baskets and couldn't find them. Am I looking in the wrong place? Let me pull up their website. So I think I have a link directly to the baskets, but let's go to their website together and find it. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, you should be seeing the website. So I'm going to go to shop now. And right here, bunnies and buckets. And so they have the bunnies with the long ears. Oh, that's probably what the somebody was mentioning earlier. I did a video on how to embroider bunny ears a long time ago, if that's the video she's looking for. But here's the baskets. And then you'll get they come in gingham, in seersucker and in gingham. So you pick the color and you pick the style. So there's the blue gingham, and you'll use my coupon code and you'll get 30% off, which I think is about what I paid at the Everything Embroidery Market. I think I got them for $12 or $14 a piece, because they had a good deal at the market where everything was on sale too. So that is how you find the buckets on Bayou Blank's website. I hope that helps. Ooh, yay. Krista says she just put the last embellishment on her spring showers quilt. Show me a picture, Krista. I'm so excited. I need you to send me a picture. All right. Betty X, will I be unveiling the Bella box? Yes, I will. I wrote it in my calendar. When am I doing that? I thought I wrote it in my calendar. I think around the middle to end of April, around like the 18th. I swore I wrote it, but I don't see it in my calendar right now. Yes, but I will be unveiling the Bella box, and I'll probably do it live. But that's going to be a lot of fun. This year's, what was the theme? It's not French Market was last year. Is this one fresh something? I think it's going to be more like a, what do you call the Sunday markets where, oh, they have them in Gretna here, and I can't think of the name, but like they have them on Sunday, and it's just an outdoor market. I think it's going to be that theme. But yes, I'll be doing the Bella box. Stay tuned for when I'm doing it. I want to say it's around the 3rd week of April. All right. Okay, guys, I think that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining. If you are watching live, thank you for being in the chat and being here. If you're watching the replay, if you're watching live, do #live. If you're watching the replay, do #replay. This was something fun that I learned at the Everything Embroidery Market that people do for their live videos. So I'm going to try that out. Our next video will be in 2 weeks on April, I already forgot, 14th. And stay tuned for what that's going to be. But in the meantime, I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I hope you have a great Easter. If you celebrate Easter, I'll have my girls are off of school at the end of next week, and so we might go do something fun the days before Easter, and then we're having a crawfish boil for Easter Sunday at my mother-in-law's house. Crawfish, very excited about that. But thanks again. I hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend and Easter, and I will see y'all next time. All right, bye guys.